Yes, indeed, more generations, please. Let's carve our way through the classics verse with this bodacious brace of burly bots. It's Trailbreaker and Hoist. Except apparently Trailbreaker's Trailcutter now, because who cares? He's a fair bit different to the figure I was expecting. I mean, right from the start, I wasn't convinced it actually looked like Trailbreaker. You know, you've got your mental checklist of things that characters should have so they look right. Like Wheeljack needs his roof chest, and the hood shins, and the slinky face, and Grimlock needs the huge golden barrel chest, and the scary black head, and the cufflink talons. Likewise, there's a few things that Trailbreaker needs to look like Trailbreaker. Colour schemes are given, plus the flat hood belly and the windscreen decolletage, cheeky bonus insignia and the judge's wig techno hat. It's very crucial. So how have we got on? Colour-wise, no problem. Brothers rocking the black and grey and red like a former glam goth gone corporate and looking fully flash for it. Other than that though, it's all a bit appeasy. I mean, he's got the turbo hat, but it's behind his head rather than on it, and he's sort of got the thorax windscreen, but it's way too subtle. And as for the flat belly and badge, I mean, he does have it, but it's behind his actual belly. Come on, this is the kind of thing that really shouldn't be an Easter egg. Because there was that other Trailcutter not long ago, wasn't there? You know, the baby one. I was kind of just hoping for a bigger one of those. I guess the robot mode is pretty cool though. The new torso design's kind of cool. Love the neat slashed headlights. But it reminds me a bit too much a Universe Hound. I mean, Trailbreaker was always the tough-looking guy who's actually really nice, so he kind of occupied the same headspace as Hound, but I never wanted him to be this similar. That aside, then Trailcutter's acceptably hench if a bit small. He cuts an impressive figure as the Autobot's big black bouncer buddy, right up until you put him next to somebody. Head sculpts are smash it with the stern frown and magnificent visor piping. Arms are definitely okay, superposable with old-fashioned thumpy fists, and these wing mirror shoulder clips would be really neat if they actually worked. Legs are sadly a bit dull. Detail's good, but they're generally pretty unremarkable with the super hollow shins and feety flaps. But, I mean, everything works. Weapon's a bit of a weird one. I always kind of had a problem with blatant alt mode chunks being repurposed as weapons, and this one's really pushing its luck. I mean, it's such a massive percentage of the vehicle mode. It's like the whole top-back portion, but it does look kind of awesome. And I guess just having a massive shield does represent him as being the force field guy. So the following wave of generations brought with it the jolly old soul that is Hoist. This was a figure I'd actually been looking forward to for a long time, but kind of on the DL. You know how you've got like your main cluster of favourites, and then sort of your second tier characters that you kind of like, and then when you get them it's somehow way more satisfying. This guy. Sadly, sharing a mould means sharing all the same disappointment and compromise, but now he's green, so it reminds me of Hound even more. But somehow, even though he's just got a new paint job, all green and danger stripes, and a groovy new head that looks like a stretched out Soundwave, I somehow like him way more. He's just cool. His gun's way neater as well. I mean, it is still an alt mode chunk, but it folds down really neatly into a convincing little blaster. Boom! Now, I never expected in a million years that this pair would make it to the UK, but for once they actually did. By the time they showed up though, I'd already splurged on the US imports, and I can't really regret it because, oh no, bonus comics. Personally, I'm not that big of a comics guy, and I haven't really been keeping up since Wreckers, but I gotta say, these are a sweet read. They're both really tight little stories. Trailcutters is a cool little space romp, and it's actually piss funny. Hoist is maybe a bit more thoughtful, but it's got swerve in it. It's just such a treat to get a bonus comic that's bona fide rather than a rushed, desperate piece of crap. So, rad? Not bad. Not bad. It's not too outlandish a transformation, but like the torso folds up and out and down and then back in a really neat way that I haven't really seen before. It's kind of awesome, but there's a lot of compacting that means that the alt mode ends up super, super tiny. Yeah, we're back to that, I'm afraid. Look how absurdly small these things are. It's getting ridiculous, but I'm getting used to it. Mainline transformers are smaller now, and we're just gonna have to deal with it, girlfriends. Where are my glasses? So Trailcutter's looking about as chunky as he can at this scale. Check the neat curved windscreen and sexy stripes. Colours look amazing here too, with the badge finally allowed to shine and all the staunch Knight Rider-y blackitude. Top thing looks conspicuously cool. What is that, a floodlight? And the shield actually makes it look pretty badass with the sweet silvery guns. Wheels on this thing freak me out. The back ones are pretty standard, but the front ones are like split in half lengthways, so only the outer bit spins, like full-on gangster rims. Front looks hard as nails though, and these headlights are so funky. But the sexiest in class credit definitely goes to my man Hoist, who totally rocks this mode. Just looks delicious in this pea green with the rad stripes. Love that winch too, it just gives him so much character, but I gotta say it debulks him a fair bit next to Trailcutter. On the whole then, both of these guys look pretty awesome, because they are. And that's the kicker really, that despite their babiness and their bewilderingly altered designs, if you're perhaps not as much of an unpleasable freak as I am, these are still two sweet little Transformer figures. Catch me later, compadres, and have a crackin' Chrimbo. paper filter is setting on the fire. Boom.